beats.
Welcome to the Firearms Insider Gun and Gear Review Podcast. This is episode 160. On this show, we showcase gun reviews, gear, and anything else a gun enthusiast may be looking for. We strive to evaluate products from an unbiased and honest perspective. I'm your host, Ryan Cross from the Firearms Radio Network, your source to broadcast for shooters, hunters, and gun enthusiasts. It's going to be a good show this week. We got Chad and Tony, so there's going to be a lot less interrupting and talking over each other, hopefully.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, sure. If you say so.
The two oldest and most opinionated guys. I'm sure it'll work out just fine.
Don't forget to wish Tony a happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday, Clarence.
Yes. Wow. Oh, you dork.
How's everyone doing this week?
Oh, it's awesome. Had a great week.
Yeah? What'd you do in guns this week?
Guns this week, I went and took, I decided to work on some of the things that I found I was not that good in during the ADPA course that I took, class that I took. So I took my SR-22 out to the range and put a few hundred rounds through it, working on just transition from one target to the next. And while I was there, I ran into a guy who had a Springfield Armory M1A SOCOM 16 that he allowed me to put a few rounds through. Now I want one. I want one really badly.
Those things are loud.
What?
Yeah.
But man, is it fun? It's lightweight. It weighs like 8.5 pounds maybe, but you just can't really tell that with the 308 going down range. It really wasn't brutal at all. With the metal buttstock and everything, you know?
Yeah, any of the M1As with their gas recoil system they use, I've never, even if they're super light, to me they don't have much felt recoil, but you know, I'm with you on that. They just shoot smooth.
I have no idea what it is about them because of course they make AR-10s, or everybody, you know, makes a 308. Well, many companies make a 308 version of the AR-10. And that just is not as sexy to me as an M1A or M14 looking rifle. I don't know.
I can tell you why, Tony.
Why is that?
Because you and I are old.
Pretty much. But the kid that was doing this I don't even know if he was in his mid-20s yet, but that's what he picked up.
Yeah, nice choice.
Yeah, he was looking in Jersey for a Jersey legal FN, what is it called? A SCAR.
Okay.
And he was having a hard time finding it. And truthfully, in Jersey, to spend the money on a SCAR is kind of ridiculous since the stock has to be fixed. So it's like, well, what's the point? Just pick up an M1A and you're cool. And that's what he did.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good.
What about you, Chad?
Well, let's see. I think the extent I did was, I went to the gun store, actually just one of the gun stores, but the rarity that I saw actually out in the wild was one of the Kimber revolvers.
Whoa.
Yeah.
They finally hit the market?
It was there at the store, and I actually, speaking of old people, I went to high school with the guy that works there too. So I was talking to him about it. He's like, yeah, he goes, we finally got one in. He told me before I even noticed it. And so I went and felt it and oogled over it and stuff. And I must say, they did a really nice job. I don't know what was wrong with the first ones that hadn't made it out or whatever. They just needed refined, but it's got a nice trigger, locks up super tight. I mean, nice finish. I was really impressed.
What was the price they were asking for something like that, though?
You know, the problem is I was so enamored by seeing one that I totally forgot to look at the price.
Totally understand, dude. I can't even blame you.
Well, and I took a picture, but of course the price tag was turned over. So I guess I couldn't make out the price.
You gotta love it. Old people in the newfangled phones. I'm gonna take a picture.
Yeah, that's right.
Did you take a picture with your phone and then wave it in the air to try to dry it off?
Yeah.
It was a Polaroid.
Yep, I shook it. Yeah, I took it and went like this to it. but that's pretty much the extent of what I did.
What about you, Ryan? You do something cool this week, or you gonna bore us like Chad did?
No, I did some shopping, and I'm not really a big Black Friday guy. I try and get my deals like beforehand.
Racist.
Well, I don't like the crowds and all that. It's kind of a security thing, like you're vulnerable out there in the wilds of the American pastime of stomping over your fellow man over $200 off TV just after the day you just celebrated being thankful for what you already got. So I'm not all about that, but I did buy a new TV. I had like an old 37-inch for like years, going on like probably like my 8th year. So I finally updated there. And more importantly, you guys don't care about TVs. I bought a scope at Cabela's. They had a Vortex. This is a 3.5 to 10 Diamondback, and it was their last one, their display model. So I, having known how the system works, talked to him. Hey, why don't you give me a employee discount there, man? I'll take this off your hands. So he was going to do that, and then we opened up the box, and the little plastic scope covers, the front lens had a big old crack in it, like a big old rock chip. And I was like, oh man, that looks like you're going to give me corporate pricing now. And he totally he went for it. So I got the scope $50 off. So it was $250, and I got it for $200.
Nice.
And so it's a 50 mil objective. It's just a V-Plex regular reticle. It's going on my 1022. So I wanted to step up from the Tasco that I've had on there for 10 plus years. And I wanted to get one of the kind of cheaper Vortexes, not a Viper, but I wanted to get into the Diamondback line, be a good product to review. I always justify it to myself that way. Ooh, I'm going to review this. But 3.5 to 10 is really nice for a 1022 because I'm not shooting that past 200 yards anyway.
So by saving the $50 on the scope, you spend it on those worn rings.
Yeah, good eye, buddy.
Nice.
You get a gold star. Yes, I did get Warren Maxima rings. I like these rings a lot. I don't care for many others.
I do too. Plus, they're an Oregon company, so I'm keeping my money in Oregon. In your case,
I gotta do the same thing. I buy Nosler bullets. I buy Warren rings.
Wow.
I have you on the show. I'm doing everything I can for Oregon, man.
Kershaw Benchmade knives. Loophole optics, all that stuff.
Okay, you know what?
We don't have. If they're not giving us money, we're not going to drop everyone's name here.
Well, now that we dropped their name, you can say in episode 160.
I can send them a bill. Yeah, that's right.
See what they'll send you.
Yep. So
Jersey kind of stinks then, because I got Henry Rifle and that's it here. They chased every other gun manufacturer out of the state, starting with Samuel Colton to Patterson.
Well, we chased Kimber off, so. But then we have Noveski, so.
And we can't even get rid of Olympic Arms if we wanted to.
Yeah, even Jersey.
It's in the name. Where are they gonna go?
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm gonna get some hate mail from that one from my Washington natives. All right, so that's the extent of what I did in guns. Been working on a lot of patch stuff, which is my segue into our bandwidth sponsor and the announcements. So Patriot Patch Co. got some sweet new stuff up, and I'm still adding things before Black Friday. So the Patch of the Month Club, we are sold out of the turkey and the smoke grenade. But coming probably in like the next week, we're going to announce the December one and start that up. So if you haven't already subscribed to the Patch of the Month Club, you'll be starting off with a really awesome Christmas themed one once I am allowed to get that up. I'm not authorized yet by the big man, Jake himself. We do have some pre-orders though. We have a participation trophy morale patch. So it says better luck next time, and then below in the engraving it says you tried. So this is a morale patch that's perfect for the millennial in your life that just cannot accept losing. So you can rip it off your hat or your sleeve and hand it to them and watch them throw it down, spit on it, and walk away in a huff, and then you'll have the satisfaction of, burning them, I guess. So it's a 2.5 by 3 inch patch, and then we've also got the. We are going to do some stickers for the smoke grenade, and so that doesn't require you to be a member of the Patch of the Month or anything like that. So if you go to pre-orders right now, you can see that the Pumpkin Spice M18 smoke grenade It's going to be a vinyl sticker available for purchase. We have a new product in. We have the Attacher by Boxer Tactical. So what Boxer Tactical does is just make a giant magnetic sheet that uses the Velcro compatible fabric, and they are branding a batch of the Attacher for Patriot Patch. So it comes in our royal blue logo color, and you can attach all your favorite Patriot patches to it, and that magnet will let it stick to a safe, the fridge, the safe, the furnace.
Car.
I don't know where else you're gonna stick this thing, but it's pretty cool.
The car fender.
The car fender. There you go. Just put it right on your door panel. So it does come in a 2-pack. So you get one 12x12 panel and one 12x8 panel. It's pretty cool. I've got this already stuck to my refrigerator. So it's a really nice way of displaying your Patriot patches. So that's available from our website right now. And I'm working on some World War II pinups, and those will be on the website this week for pre-order. I'm just finishing up the files right now. So I think that'll be a 3-pack with 3 different girls, 3 different guns from the World War II collection. So that'll be a really nice patch series to add to your collection. Moving down in the announcements, we got the new listener support program. So if you go to firearmsradio.tv and then click on the pledge tab, you can pledge support to any of your favorite podcasts on the network, including this one, the Gun and Gear Review podcast. I don't know what everyone else is going to use their proceeds from, but any money pledged to this podcast is going to go directly into acquiring new product to review. So if you want to do that, there's different levels, and you do get some Patriot Patch swag as a gift, as a thank you for any amount that you pledge. It could be a sticker, a patch that kind of goes up as you pledge more money. And then moving on to Black Bag Resources, there's a coupon code for this month, Ryan's Roll Pin, for $10 off any order over $50 site-wide. And that expires December 10th, so make sure you take advantage of that. We've also got another coupon code, Simon Says Train, and that's going to allow you to get free shipping, because basically whatever items you purchase are going to be given directly to Tony as a donation, so he can give it away at the Second is for Everyone diversity shoots and raffles and drawings and prize tables and such. So you're not actually getting them, you're buying them, and they're being given directly to Tony, which saves you on shipping because him and Black Bag Resources are pretty tight. So there's that. And I think, speaking of Black Bag Resources, I think he's got something going on for Black Friday. And since Sean's not here, I would be remiss if I did not attempt to look up his Facebook page and read what he's got going on, just to give him a little traffic if he gets any from us. So
he probably gets more from Tony, showing videos and stuff of him.
Yeah, shoot a hostage target.
On purpose, though, right?
Oh yeah. The guy had.
Well, he was in the way, wasn't he?
No, he had Stockholm syndrome. He turned.
Oh, he was gonna run away, and okay. Got it.
Okay. So, according to his Facebook page, they're loading up the store with killer deals, awesome bundles, and some Black Bag Resources exclusives. The items will drop throughout the day on Friday, this Black Friday. So check back often. They might do a countdown from Facebook or Instagram just to keep things interesting. So there won't be anything in the category until Fridays, but you can go ahead and bookmark their website now, blackbagresources.com/store. And then Friday, make sure you wake up early. First thing you do is check blackbagresources.com to see what kind of deals he's got dropped on his website.
Yep, that's the reason he's not here tonight, actually. He's hustling on his website right now, getting everything up.
Okay, we'll let it go this time.
Yeah, so if you go to the website and click on store, the very first icon square says Black Bag Resources Friday deals. Click on that, and that'll be loaded up with those deals on Friday. So there you go, Sean.
Yeah.
They'll say they never did nothing for you. And then also want to make sure I keep plugging TGC, the Gun Collective with John Patton. Patriot Patch is designing and fulfilling products for him for his store at tgcgear.com or store.theguncollective.com. And every $5 you spend gets you one entry into a giveaway that consists of one rifle that's about $3,000, semi-automatic, really awesome, and a $1,500 hunting trip with John himself. So make sure you go over there and order all your buddies Christmas gifts, and that money is going to go, every $5 you get an entry, and there's no really limit. So if you want to win that rifle and get that hunting trip, you can totally stack the odds in your favor. So them's the announcements. Now we're going to get into the main topic, the product review. I almost had one this week. I was so close. I've got pictures loaded on my camera that need to go on my computer. But I will have a review next week, and I'm committing to that by announcing that on the air.
I think you were too busy buying a TV and a scope, right?
I mean, yeah, you got to test that TV out. You know, you only got so many days to take it back, and so you really got to use it to its fullest extent that first week just to make sure everything's good.
Okay.
So, Chad, what do you got this week?
Well, this week, because, last time I did a review, this is from the same company. This is the Styrka Red Dot, which they make 3 different models. It's their S3. This particular one is the 2.5 MOA dot, which they also make a 5 MOA red dot and a 5 MOA green dot. So we'll discuss that here. Kind of already explained in the review on their rifle scope what they do. So I first mounted this on an AR-15 when I got it. It does come with this nifty little riser, which is aluminum. They do a nice job. They mill out the inside. It doesn't weigh much, So I did that, shot it, sighted it in, all that fun stuff. But when you mount the red dot with this riser, I found it leaves a little to be desired. If you can see in the pictures, and I'm holding it up now to the camera, it kind of looks kind of weird. I mean, it doesn't flow nicely. So there's that. It mounted up good and sturdy, so it's just cosmetic pretty much. And then the other thing was, I probably won't be able to show you on the camera, but it doesn't really line up front and rear with the mount. It's kind of inset a little bit, so it's kind of almost acts like the riser was maybe an afterthought. I don't know for sure, but that's kind of what it looks like. But the red dot mounted snugly on top of the riser. Riser works well on the AR-15. It does set it at the right height. Both the riser and the red dot use a little torque screw to tighten them down. So there is no big, huge knob sticking out the side for Ryan, which is always nice. The other thing that's really cool about this is it does come with a honeycomb filter that just screws on the end as per normal. But, not many sites these days, especially in this price range, come with that style of honeycomb filter. Also comes with their neoprene cover, which I think everything they make comes, as far as rifle and optics and stuff, comes with one of these neoprene covers, which is kind of nice. The honeycomb filter, it could be a big help. They're kind of a hunting optics company, so if you're hunting turkey or something, maybe have it mounted on a shotgun. I could see how they might get spooked if they caught glare off of it or something. So that's a nice thing about that. I will say that it takes a little getting used to looking through the honeycomb, through the red dot and the honeycomb filter, and I'll explain a little bit more about it later. As we said, it's a 2.5 MOA dot. They already, it adjusts on the side with these. You probably can't see it too much in the video, but it's got a plus and a minus to adjust the dot. It has 6 settings from low to high. If you hold it down, one of them down, it'll cycle all the way to the lowest setting or all the way to the highest setting, depending on what you do with it. To turn it off, you hold down both buttons for, they say, roughly 3 seconds. If you forget to turn the sight off, it has an auto shut off after 1 hour. I'd like to like this feature, but in my case, I envision it turning off. You turn it on, you go hunting. Okay, it takes you an hour and 15 minutes before you decide to, see something worth shooting at, and you pull up your sight and it is off. I didn't really like that. I would like it to be, something quite a bit longer. Even 4 hours would be better. I sent them an email, and they did mention that movement does not keep it on. So it is pretty much, once you turn it on, as long as you don't touch it, the buttons or anything, it'll turn off in an hour. So, I'm gonna say this for, Sean's benefit. It uses a CR2032 battery that mounts right there on the top. And then we have covered adjustment knobs. It's, 1 MOA per click, pretty much standard. And pretty much standard. The caps double as your click adjustments. So for windage and elevation. Of course, it has little O-rings on it to help seal it. After I mounted it on my AR, I took it off, mounted it on a 9mm submachine gun. And then proceeded to put about 500 rounds through it, not all in one sitting, and then I adjusted it and shot it and adjusted it back, and the full auto fire didn't seem to affect it, which I kind of figured it wouldn't, but I do know that if I were to put a, $40 cheap red dot on there, it'd probably fall apart from the crashing of the bolt forwards and backwards. So there is that. The optic is super clear. The coatings they use don't really affect the color of anything when you look through it, which I mean slightly, but I didn't have any problems with that. So the only one of the problems I did have was I was shooting it in bright sunlight, and the LED is almost not bright enough. It was hard to pick up. I'll show it to you here. That's full brightness. So I don't know let me see if I can get it on something white. So it's not very bright. Then when you put the honeycomb filter on, it kind of dulls it down a little bit more. So there is that. And then the little LED that shines on the plate is noticeable in the bottom right of the sight. You can notice it is a little flat. It was kind of distracting. I don't know if you can see it. You can kind of see it there in the pictures, and I posted a picture of it too, so you can notice it. And so that was a little distracting. So, I probably wouldn't buy this as a hunting optic because of the way it turns off in an hour. I kind of, as I said in the review, I kind of would designate it something as more of a range toy use because you're not worried about it turning off or anything like that. Though it has good clarity and it handled the full auto fire without any problems. So there is that. Like I said, it does have their lifetime warranty. So once a year you can send it back and they will tune it up for free. Make sure everything's good and tight and clean it and do what all this other stuff is they do with it. So now we'll get to the Firearms Insider 8 key points. Claim to fame. Well, I guess it's a tube style red dot. You kind of figured that one out. Target markets, pretty much anybody looking for a red dot, which there's lots of companies, but some people like different brands better than others. Features and benefits, the 6 brightness settings, 2.5 MOA dot. It has a 21 millimeter objective lens, which I didn't think it was small when looking through it and having it mounted on something. So it seemed to work well. The integrated turret adjustment caps, it's parallax free, like pretty much any red dot. So it has unlimited eye relief. It is waterproof for like 30 minutes. It has the auto shut off, 1 MOA adjustments, the lifetime warranty we just mentioned. When you turn it off, when you turn it back on, it automatically goes to the last brightness setting it was on. It does come with the honeycomb filter and the neoprene cover and the riser mount. It weighs in at 5.8 ounces, which is not a lot. So there is that. It is 3.27 inches long by 1.84 inches wide and 2.11 high, not counting the riser mount. So price point, the MSRP is $299.95, but Sturka and Optic Planet both sell it for $249. So if you need it now, you can get it from either Sturka or Optics Planet. And for our rating, the pros, it does come with a honeycomb glare filter, and it comes with the high mount, comes with cover. I prefer the 2.5 MOA dot. The smaller, usually better, but it's not like a 1 MOA where it's really hard to see. It's got a clear dot, clear glass, and a lifetime warranty. For the cons, the poor brightness in full sun, the LED housing's noticeable, the 1 hour auto off, and the high mount just doesn't quite line up like I would expect it to for something of this price range. So for the score, I gave it 6 of okay.
Cool.
So there's that for you. If you got any questions, shoot them my way.
Yeah, that seemed like a lot of cons there for the price. But
yeah.
But I mean, I've shot really cheap optics. Yeah, you don't want to do that either. I had a red dot.
Right.
I had a red dot that I was shooting my 22, and it zeroed in, and everything was great. And then all of a sudden, it started vertically stringing, and I thought it was me. Then I noticed every time the 22 long rifle recoiled, the reticle would move. It would shift.
Yeah.
So, hey, listen, when it comes to optics, I mean, it's like almost anything, but purchase the best one you can afford. I mean, it's that simple.
Yeah, and and that's the thing is, like I mentioned, I gave this as a 6, but I think I gave their scope that I reviewed, their 2.5 to 15. I think it was like an 8. I mean, I mean, the difference is I actually was kind of hoping for more out of this red dot, but hey, everybody kind of has their own market, and I'm thinking they just kind of sell this to people. I mean, it's a good red dot. It's just for something. It's kind of odd how the hour auto off I think would be a good feature, like I mentioned before, if it was like say 4 hours, because or like I think
for a company that makes hunting optics, it seems like an hour shut off is just a very short amount of time.
Right. And if you mounted it on like a shotgun, which it would be a really good shotgun optic, but like I said, the 1 hour auto off would just kill you. I mean, how often do you sit in a blind for an hour before you see a duck fly by or something? You know.
Yeah, I think really they need to work on just battery life and not depend on the shut off to be that
Yeah.
short. It's
Yeah.
almost begging to be just a range optic at that
Yeah.
point. I
I
mean,
mean,
not even a competition optic either.
right. A range optic that you don't have to worry about it, breaking like your super cheap
Yeah.
red dot like you had and string and stuff. But yeah, you know, that's kind of how the cookies crumble, I guess. And, we all like cookies. So
Okay. Wow. I don't even know what that meant. Can we go on to something else?
Yeah.
yeah, Ryan might have something.
What? A
I don't
comment?
know.
Yeah, now I want some cookies. Thanks a lot, man.
You're
Oh,
welcome.
nice.
I was content before.
Yep.
So cool. Good review.
Thanks.
So now we're going to move on to the product spotlight. And kind of carrying on from the last episode, 159, we were talking about some pretty futuristic AR-15 furniture that's going to be available soon. And what kind of happened as a happy accident, I did a quick Google search just to grab the image after that I had already added the links to the show notes. And I I grabbed the wrong stock furniture for the AR-15 and put it in the show notes. So it kind of caused confusion last week because they were like, well, this isn't what we're talking about. So we were able to track down just who is this manufacturer of this model of stock. And so that's what we're going to talk about this week. Unfortunately, there's not too many details. I don't even have an MSRP for you guys. But if you're talking about a thumbhole stock that can convert your AR-15 into having one less of those dangerous assault features, being a pistol grip, this could be something to add to your rifle in a restricted state such as New Jersey or California. So it's called the Dex stock, DEX, and the designer is Vitaly Bulgarov, and he's a designer who's worked on some video games and some kind of sci-fi concept art, as well as some armor concepts, futuristic like helmets and body armor and things like that. So he took a stab at designing an AR-15 stock and having it prototyped. And basically, from what we're looking at, this article from the Firearm blog, which is like the primary source of information for this particular stock, because I really couldn't find it anywhere else on the internet. Everyone else's blogs were pointing back to the Firearm blog, so we're just going to read it right from this source. But it appears that it's going to be coming out in 2017, and it's similar style to what we talked about last week. How basically it makes use of your buffer tube and your receiver extension, and then fills in where your pistol grip would be, but it's all one piece. However, this thing looks a lot more futuristic and kind of sleek, sexy, and mean. It's got a lot less like rounded edges and a little bit more of a, like I said, an aggressive, contoured look. I know Sean really liked the look of this over the CQR stock we talked about last week. What do you guys feel about this?
I was. Go ahead, Tony.
It's very much hotter. It is so much hotter than the stock from last week. And I love people say this is a loophole around the laws in places like New Jersey, California, and New York State. No, this is actually complying with the rules that they put in place. This is 100% what they asked for, and this is what they got. It got rid of the independent pistol grip, and it's now a thumbhole stock, and that's totally legit. And this looks pretty hot. And the cool thing about New Jersey is we only have a certain number of features we can have. So once you get rid of once you get rid of the pistol grip with this thumbhole stock version, now I can have various, I won't have to mount my muzzle device on it by having it welded and pinned. So that's a pretty cool thing to do because you can change things out. You know what I mean?
And it gives you that wild card.
Well,
Yeah.
and the other nice thing about this stock is even if you live in a free state, it looks like a pretty nice stock. I mean, I wouldn't have any problem sticking it on an AR. I mean, I like it better than the Hera Arms one that we talked about, because this one is actually adjustable too. So you
Oh
can
yeah,
length the pull.
exactly.
And I'm assuming, that the little round thing that looks like a lanyard loop or something on it is probably how you adjust the pull of the stock. You kind of, you push it up or something, and then you slide the stock. But
yeah, maybe. I mean, we're not seeing as many like actual sling attachment points as the Hera arm stock. I'm not seeing any QD ports or footman's loops or anything like that, and that's coming from somebody who's not really a firearms product designer. He's just kind of taking a stab at the whole concept of it. Who's to say that the final version wouldn't have some attachment points added? But it looks like instead of just having spacers to basically increase the length of pull by uninstalling the butt pad and putting some spacers or removing some spacers in there, it looks like it actually slides back and forth. The whole butt pad and cheek riser, that whole back half of that chassis type of stock. I mean, it almost looks like it looks like the new Tavor, the X95. It looks a lot
X95,
like
yeah.
that. It's
yeah,
And yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot it had the adjustable stock. So yeah, in Jersey, I'd still have to have my muzzle device pinned, but now I have an adjustable stock, which as an instructor really helps out because I have people of different sizes, and
Yeah.
that just makes sense. I mean, in one day I had, someone that's 6'8", and then I have a 10-year-old girl, and it's like, yeah, in Jersey, yeah, you have a pinned stock, so just figure out a middle ground and let them cope with it. But it looks really, really cool.
So it looks like there's some more information from the designer. They are working on a California, New York compliant versions. So that'll be probably some kind of partition to fill up that thumb hole to where they have whichever state, I think California, that has that. They figured out closing the thumb hole loophole. Just integrating some kind of partition there so that it's not an open space. So the designer Vitali, he's a concept designer based in California, so he's right behind enemy lines as far as those laws are concerned. Working with industries like computer games, films, and industrial design. He's done some props for like Terminator, Transformers, and RoboCop, and computer games like StarCraft 2 and Diablo 3. And so he says, yes, the Dex stock is a real AR-15 compatible product, and we're planning to release it early to mid 2017. And based on some of these pictures and some of the other conversations taking place on the Firearm Blog article, it looks like there's going to be a kind of a soft overmold rubber on the stock itself. So it's not going to be like just, sanded or finished plastic. It's going to almost like the Magpul K2 Plus grips. If you guys have picked those up, it's going to have that overmold on there. So my question is it going to be heavy? Because you're going to have overmold, and it's got all the moving parts and mechanisms for it to be adjustable length of pull. Is this thing going to add an unnecessary amount of weight to your rifle?
Well, it might just turn it from being a carbine into being like a designated marksmanship rifle. Weight.
Yeah.
Who knows? But the way I look at it, it's just another option we have in states like ours. And I mean, I know I'm looking at it from just one point of view, but this is something we have to deal with in Jersey, California, New York, and I think maybe even a couple of other states that just have to deal with this stupidity. So I'm really thankful for companies and people like this that work within the law to give us more options, because really what the powers that be want us to do is just give up all firearms. Just make it impossible for us to enjoy the sport and our Second Amendment rights.
Yeah, and the thing is, we're all about options anyway. I mean, aren't the AR-15s our Legos anyway?
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty funny though, because when somebody does something like this, you get I love this, AR-15 traditionalist. And they're like, well, you don't need to do this. And I'm like, really, you just need to stop talking. this this whole family of firearms is nothing but it was designed to be adaptable and modular.
Hey,
So
I'm
anything, go ahead.
I'm one of these original lists. I want mine to go to that third switch.
Exactly. Nice.
I think if we can just get past the direct impingement, I know it's cheap and easy and you can do it in your garage, but come up with a really like useful, affordable piston system like the G36 and the M27. Yeah,
HK416.
yeah. You know, it's like obviously that's like much better for the operation of the firearm over the long term, a little bit more reliable, but it's almost like the need to keep it simple so that you can install a gas tube with some roll pins, promo code Ryan's roll pin, to keep it simple and not have it overly complicated and keep it serviceable at its base components, I think is what's keeping it in that realm.
Well, I think that's why it was designed. That's the way it was designed. And also, remember, the DI gas system keeps it lightweight also. Once you start putting the gas pistons on, it just gets heavier and heavier, no matter which one you put on it.
Yeah, I know.
And really, if you want a 223 556 that fires from a piston system, you can always pick up a Galil Ace or a Tavor, or there are a lot of other things out there. Mini 14, there's just a bunch of them.
Yeah, just buy them all.
Yeah,
I'm not mad at you. Let me shoot.
Yeah, right. Come on over. All right,
Tell me
so
that. I'll come over.
So that's that stock. So then we're actually going to talk about some new rifles from Henry. They just had their 1,000-man record shoot where they got, is it 1,000 or am I getting that number wrong?
Nope, it was 1,000.
Yeah, 1,000 people shooting some Henry rifles at once. I know I think the Gun Collective, John Patton went down there. Some other popular YouTubers and bloggers went down there. Iraq Veteran 8888 for sure. Of course, 22 Plinkster definitely was down there.
Military channel.
Yep, all those great guys. So I didn't notice that they came out with a new lever action rifle. I came across this on YouTube. It's called the Long Ranger, and what it is, it's a centerfire, non-rimmed lever actions. So they're chambered in 223, 243, and 308. And they do not use a tubular magazine, obviously, because those 3 rounds use, pointed tip bullets, and that's never a good thing to have a recoiling rifle and having 4 or 5 bullets with the primers being impacted by bullet tips. So that's kind of why, even with a 30-30 lever action, you really want to use a rounded projectile with a round nose. Enter the Long Ranger that feeds from a box magazine, and it's still just a classic lever action, but it's almost like it's been combined with a traditional hunting rifle. It's got that walnut stock and just a very standard barrel, and you can mount a scope up on here and take it shooting and not feel limited as if you were using a pistol caliber carbine, like in either 357s or 44 mags. So I know, Tony, you could probably take a look at these. You're a big fan of some of Henry's stuff. What do you think about this?
I think it's a great idea. Sorry. I think it's a great idea. I'm a big fan of Henry's, mainly because they helped us out. Plus, they're built here in Jersey. But they helped out my diversity shoot from the beginning. I was there at their booth at NRA annual meeting, and I got to see it. I also got to be in their commercial. Shout out to me.
You're famous.
I'm internet famous. You must know. I'm a big deal on the internet. But I thought it was really cool. It has a 4-round mag for the 243 and the 308, and a 5-round mag for the 223. The way it's set up with the lugs and everything, it's pretty much a lever action bolt gun, really. So it should have all the accuracy pretty much every bolt gun, but have the smoothness of a lever action. Especially Henry lever actions are really smooth. What I didn't like about it was it doesn't have iron sight. So pretty much you have to have this scoped,
Yep.
Yeah.
So it does come drilled and tapped, and they do supply bases. However, they do not give you any kind of rings. Obviously, depending on what scope you get and what kind of objective it has on there, you're probably going to throw any kind of factory rings in the junk drawer because you're going to need, the right size height for whatever scope you choose. But it is nice that they tap it and they put bases on there, because it's always a pain in the butt to get this at the store and then go, oh, hey, I need bases. What, you don't have lever action bases for anything beyond Merlin? Oh, great. Now I'm have to get online and order it. So
yeah, and they also throw in a hammer extension so that when you put a scope on it,
you're going to definitely want to use that.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Since it doesn't have a safety on it at all. So it pretty much depends on you dropping that hammer on a live round if you do something like that.
Yeah. I saw this. I saw Ryan put it in the show notes, and I had never heard of it. And I went and looked it out. I'm like, oh, I actually, in my case, I like lever guns for hunting. And I actually like that they put the straight stock on it. Because, a lot of the lever guns with decent hunting calibers they'll put the curved stock and then you have your lever that's curved. Well, my hand doesn't curve backwards. So, I like the straight lever. I have one of the old Savage lever guns in 308 that has the rotary magazines, and it's got the curved handle. And, that's the one thing I don't like about it. So, I'm like, hey, one with a straight stock, decent caliber, this big, nice hunting rifle.
Yeah, I was actually looking up because the box magazine, I know Browning makes the BLR or something like that.
Yeah.
And then before that, back in the day, Winchester made the 1895 lever action that actually used stripper clips. Mainly because I was just doing research into Mosins and what came before Mosins. And I know Teddy Roosevelt used one, and I forgot it might have been in 30. No, it wasn't in 30-06. I forget what it was at. But the Russians had one made in 7.62 by 54R, and I thought that was just really cool. A lever action in 7.62 by 54R.
Yeah, because the whole top slides. So you could open it up, put the stripper clip in it, strip them out, and be good to go. So, yeah.
And pretty much anything is faster than a Mosin bolt action.
Well,
quick,
you could probably hit something with something besides the Mosin too.
Well, the Mosin's pretty accurate, but you got to work on it.
Yeah, because if you're shooting at a barn at 100 yards, it's the length of it's half the distance as is.
That's just velocity to the bullet, man. That's just velocity to the bullet at it. That's all. But I thought this was pretty cool. I don't know. I mean, is 223 really a big hunting cartridge, or is that more still a plinking cartridge at this point?
Well, I take it as a kind of a truck gun, or like a ranch rifle. Because a lot of times, if you're on the ranch, you see a coyote, it's instant. You stop the truck, throw it in park, hop out, and take a shot at that yote. If you've got livestock, it's just kind of instinctual. So 223 is great for that. Obviously, 243 would do a great job on yotes as well. 308 is a little overkill, but maybe that yote's been really persistent and you really want to give it to them. So yeah, I really take that more as like a truck gun for somebody that likes the caliber, but maybe is a little bit older and doesn't want a AR-15 carbine in the back of their truck.
Okay, I mean, yeah, I was just asking about it, but yeah. You're right. Most lever guns that people carry in the back of the truck, just because most lever guns are either pistol caliber carbine or 30-30. So a 223 would be a lot flatter shooting.
Yeah.
To reach out past what's usually 30-30, 150 yards.
Yeah, you can get up to 300 if you're a good shot with 30-30.
But it's probably easy to hit with a 223 at that range because less bullet drop.
Yeah, and there are some states where a lot of people they're allowed to use 22 calibers on deer. Not my state, but there are some states, so it could be an option for that. I think in Texas it's okay.
It's okay in Oregon.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Screw you guys.
Yeah, I know.
That's all right. Henry's got something coming in 2017 that's even more awesome.
Can we get
they-
more ers?
Yeah, it's awesome. Because it's a lever action freaking shotgun.
Yeah,
So
people have done that.
It's not a
before,
410, is it?
yeah, well, they're starting with the 410, but they're going to have the other things too. But I mean, it's from Henry though. It's not something made in China
Yeah.
and sent over or overpriced thing coming from Italy for $2,000.
I was gonna say 410. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
That's right.
Well,
It's got to
yeah,
be
that's just
16
because-
gauge.
Oh Lord.
16. Well, you need
Gauge.
it in 12 gauge, and you need it to make sure that it has a tube extension so you can use it in 3-gun.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah,
Yeah.
Nordic Components.
Work that lever.
Nordic Components makes an extension for it.
Don't people already have those? It's called like an 1897 Winchester or something.
Yeah, it's going to be in the really, really heavy division.
Yeah.
3-gun.
That's called Cowboy Action.
Yeah, really.
So they're saying that these are about 7 pounds. They list the 223 Remington Long Ranger as 7 pounds, but they don't list the weight of the other two. So I'm just assuming larger caliber, more material on the barrel. Probably the 243 and 308 might be a little heavier than 7 pounds. They're really proud of that price, though. Like, I know it's just the MSRP, but $1,015 suggested retail. I know Henry products are usually, really high end, and you're definitely not paying for junk. But if they're trying to persuade me to get into this over a bolt action, it's got to be competitive to a regular Remington 700 BDL or ADL for either sake. But I just don't think I'm going to be paying $900 for a lever action when I could get the same caliber in a bolt action.
Well, I think actually they're just competing with pretty much Browning right now, and that's in the same price range. I think Browning's MSRP is like $998 or something like that for the BLR. So, I mean, it's apples to apples. I guess that's the way they look at it. And, when the Browning, this is what I've read because, of course, I try to research this stuff, and even whatever we're talking about, I try to look at the competition. And people say the Browning BLR has a horrible trigger, and that the triggers pull on this Henry's supposedly like a lot better. Well, I had nothing to compare it to, so I have no idea. It's just not horrible. So, I mean, I guess they're just going for the lever action market, American made, because all the Brownings are made in Japan now.
Yeah.
So if you want American made lever action and not something that comes from the horrible Marlin plant with their horrible QC, I guess you can go with Henry.
Yeah, you mean Freedom Group?
Yeah, I mean, they just totally dorked everything up and kind of killed the name brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got a whole new generation of people coming up that pretty much if they go on looking for used Marlins made before Freedom Group bought them.
Back onto the Henry. I think Henry's not really looking to sell everybody a hunting rifle either. So, I think pretty much if you're looking for a lever, like Tony was saying, a lever rifle, your BLR or something was one of the few things you could find, or a Marlin.
Yeah.
So they're kind of, looking to sell these, and they're known for their lever guns. So you might as well just keep it in the family.
Yep. So here's what you do. You get the 308, you chop the barrel, you thread it, bam, you've got yourself a truck gun, put a suppressor on the end of it, and you could shoot your 308 suppressed out of a short little lever action. Or
That's
get the 223 and pay a gunsmith an exorbitant amount of money to ream the barrel, or get a new barrel and ream it for $300 blackout.
There you go. Yeah, I wonder why they missed that bus.
Because they're probably a little bit more traditionalists, and they're not going to just give in to a chambering just because the tactical market is like high on it right now still.
Yeah, that's true, because I was listening to the Henry commercial that I'm in, and the president the president of the company, they were asking him about the octagonal barrels that they have for the lever actions. They were like, are these any more accurate or what? And he was like, well, I just like the look because it reminds me of the old West. So if the president's kind of stuck with that, maybe he probably thinks 300 Blackout is a newfangled, you know what I mean, cartridge. Yeah. And I mean, I personally think if you don't have it suppressed or coming from a short barrel rifle, you kind of could use a 7.62 by 39 for most things. But if you're going to do it and you're going to have a lever action and it takes 223, why not have 300 Blackout? I mean, that's just a growing round. Mm-hmm. Don't miss that bus. That's money you're leaving on the table for pretty much what, reaming out of a barrel. That's it.
It's true. I mean, I don't think it should be any more complicated. They use the same magazines as a 223. You know, and I think shooting subsonics out of a lever gun, you know, you get enough seal and lockup where that's going to contain a lot of that noise.
Oh, yeah.
And you're not going to get a lot of, like, smoke in your face as you do, like, a semi-auto, obviously.
Right, and especially the 243-308, that's pretty much all that is. Yep. I mean, you know, it's a barrel change. Everything else is the same.
Yep, so they're 20-inch barrels as they are, so cut it down to 16, have it threaded.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even have to worry about getting rid of your front sight.
Nope.
Exactly. I mean, look at, excuse me, Ruger did it with their, All-American lever actions. They put the regular size out, and then 3 years later, they came up with their Predator series. I'm like, you could have been making money the whole time just by doing a 16-inch threaded barrel on everything you have. Like, what are you doing leaving that? There's a market for it. Suppressors are growing in this country. And hopefully with new legislation and a new administration, they might come off the NSA list.
Yeah, and I'm excited for that, because if that happens and suppressors are, more affordable and easier to come by, more manufacturers offering threaded barrels. I mean, if I could get a Henry in 357-38 in a threaded barrel without having to pay $200 to have a gunsmith do it, I would put my 9mm can on there and shoot 38 specials out of it all day long. You know, or have a larger, you know, get something like a 45 can and shoot 357 Magnum out of it. Yep. I mean, they would just be a whole new world of fun. I would have to get a business loan just so I can buy some more. It's like, hey, Jake, I need an advance. I gotta get some more suppressed stuff here.
Yeah, not only that, but also it's not that long wait time. You go in and buy the suppressor over the counter.
Yep.
I mean, I heard in Europe they have them in blister packs, for goodness sake.
First we talk about cookies, now we're talking about getting suppressors and blister packs. I am salivating at the mouth right now. All right. So there's the Henry Long Ranger. You can check that out. So moving on, we don't have any listener feedback at the moment, and we're going to go ahead and give Tony the floor to talk about the Second Is for Everyone diversity shoots.
All right, Second Is for Everyone diversity shoot. The next one is scheduled for February 2nd of 2017 at 6 p.m. at Gun for Hire Range. You can check it out at diversityshoot.com. It's still called the Second Is for Everyone.com, but Diversity Shoot is a lot easier to remember. If you want to donate, please do so. I have a donate button on diversityshoot.com. You can donate to the PayPal account, and I will use it to purchase gifts and raffles for the next year. If you're going to do it, please try to hurry up and allow me to get in on these Black Friday sales. And if not, I'll just use it during the year anyway. I'm going to be moving around the state and actually out of state next year, from PA to Maryland and all throughout New Jersey. So the more you can help me, the more I appreciate it, because we have an election year coming up and we're getting rid of Governor Krispy Kreme, and we're going to have some Democrats coming up, and I need to get as many shooters roped into the Second Amendment family as possible so they know what they're about to lose if they don't vote. So help a brother out, diversityshoot.com. And if you want to buy stuff yourself and have Sean give it to me from Black Bag Resources, go to blackbagresources.com and type in, what was that? What was the code for Sean?
Simon
says train.
There you go. Simon Says Train, and he'll take care of the shipping for you, because he's going to give it to me when he comes to the shoot, because he supports it. Just like Ryan Cross does from the Patriot Patch Company. And you'll be seeing some cool pictures of the Patriot patches that you have available at the Second Is for Everyone diversity shoot, because I'm posting it tomorrow on Simon Says Train on Instagram. And if you want to see what I look like, why don't you go on and watch Henry's commercial, because I'm in it for about 3.5 seconds.
Did you shave? Did you shave for it?
Oh, dude, I was totally shaved for it with my cool Batman shirt on, looking funky, fresh, dressed to impress. I'm like, holy crap! If I was going to be on a TV commercial, it's probably going to run for 5 years. I wouldn't have worn a Batman shirt.
You look like, yo, where the Comic-Con at?
Pretty much. Pretty much. I have the name tag around my neck with a Batman shirt on. I just look like, oh, it's just bad. And of course, you know, my friends, they didn't make fun of me at all on Facebook.
Oh no! Hey, Batman.
Yeah, I'm glad my wife didn't see it because, well, she's really mean. You met her, Ryan.
Yeah, she's perfect for you.
Oh my God, is she mean to me? I told her I'm going to trade her in for one that doesn't speak English as a first language or at all, and she just keeps daring me to do it. Anyway, diversityshoot.com. Help a brother out. I need to get out of this house. Send money.
And also a PSA, if you have any roll pins and AR-15 A2 pistol grips, send them to Tony for giveaways. We're going to call it the AR-15 starter pack. It's going to be one roll pin and an AR-15 A2 pistol grip. It's got to be A2. None of this Magpul Bravo company stuff. It's got to be OG. I know you got a junk drawer full of them. Just send them to Tony and he'll make good use of them.
Thanks a lot. Not even a whole lower parts kit, just the A2 grip and a roll pin. Thanks.
Yeah.
Not even a screw included with the grip.
If you're feeling generous, you can throw in a D10 spring. That's all I'm saying.
Not even an ambi selector switch. No.
Too fancy. So, well, that's the end of the podcast. So send questions or comments to gungearreview@gmail.com. Remember to subscribe and leave us an iTunes review. And check out all the other shows on the Firearms Radio Network at firearmsradio.tv. And be sure to visit the Firearms Insider for reviews and industry coverage. So thanks, guys, for joining me on this week's show. It was very fun.
Thanks for having us on.
It's always a good time.
And I will see you guys next Tuesday, and we can talk about all the cool things we got for shopping Black Friday.
Cool. Awesome. See you guys. And if you want to see me, check out Henry's new commercial.
Yep. We're
12 minutes in.
He's wearing a Batman t-shirt.
You can't miss me. I'm the black guy in the Henry commercial.
Oh, on that note, bye, Felicia.
Bye, Felicia.